Hello everyone, welcome to the Valley News Now Network. Duke Schindler here joining you on this Tuesday afternoon, and we'll be diving into some Investigate TV today as they reveal how law enforcement using drones to save lives, but can dig into privacy concerns. Then on top of that, they examine a sinister scheme that's exploiting children online. They explore how parents can protect their children. Then they meet the woman spreading kindness through a nice little hobby of quilting. Here is Investigate TV.
Today on Investigate TV Plus,
there's a vehicle in the ditch on fire.
When seconds matter, help can now come from above.
Come out! Come out! Come here! Give me your hand!
We reveal how drone programs are taking off among first responders.
I can't put a number on how many lives have and will be saved by this technology that has become a critical part of our workflow.
And we dig into the privacy concerns surrounding this new technology.
Plus, a sinister scheme exploits children online.
Oftentimes, the parents really have no idea what's going on.
We examine a growing crime that's already taken lives and share important steps to protect your family.
Then, stitches of service.
That's always important, to give back, to give more than you take.
Meet the women spreading kindness through quilting.
In-depth stories that inform and inspire. You're watching Investigate TV Plus.
There's new help coming to police departments across the country, and it's not human. I'm Tisha Powell.
And I'm Lee Zurich. It's called the Drone as First Responder Program, and it's growing as the tech proves it has life-saving capabilities, from finding at-risk missing children and adults to tracking down suspects in violent crimes.
But some experts worry about the technology being used against citizens in ways that could hurt their privacy and their freedoms.
Yeah, reporter Kristen Crowley hears from both sides of the issue about a rapidly expanding and sometimes controversial tool.
It's a heart-stopping emergency.
Smashing the back window, someone's still trapped inside. Hold on! Hey, give me your hand!
That, with only seconds to spare, ends in a heroic rescue.
You're gonna be okay first.
Officers on the ground saved the driver's life. But before the man was pulled to safety, before the officers even got there, the rescue began
There's a vehicle in the ditch on fire.
in the sky.
What is the address of the emergency?
Apparently on Highway 5.
They would have never got to him if they would have listened to what the community member directed them into, the location on the freeway.
That's Roxana Kennedy, chief of police of Chula Vista, which in 2018 became the first police department in the country to launch the Drone as First Responder program. It works by allowing police departments to pre-position drones at multiple launch stations, as opposed to officers releasing the aircraft once they arrive on scene.
We got the subject out of the vehicle.
Kennedy says police did get to this call in time because the drone pilot saw exactly where to send them. She says the drones give police a tool in the sky to help officers on the ground handle emergencies like robberies, shootings, traffic crashes, and fires.
I can't even imagine policing without the benefit of having drones.
We use the keyboard and the mouse to fly it.
Chula Vista let us tour its command center.
Hey Daniel, we're all set for that test flight.
And one of its drone launching pads, showing us how it all works.
If I can tell by what they're telling the dispatcher that the drone is going to be of any help, I could send the drone before dispatch even sends officers.
Cameras on the drone let home base see what's transpiring in real time.
I like to say we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know what we're going into. Drones can get there quicker through no traffic so that officers can make better decisions as they respond to calls. It's a game changer.
This, she says, is a perfect example. A 911 call comes in about a man recklessly waving a gun around. Chula Vista's drone beat the officers to the scene.
And then he took the gun and he started putting it to his mouth. And I thought, oh no, we're gonna watch this guy commit suicide right here.
The man pulls the trigger and the drone reveals it's not a gun, it's a lighter.
If the drone hadn't been there, how would that response to that situation been different?
It could have been deadly. If he is mentally ill, and he turns around with that gun and points it at the officers. They don't know what his intent is. It could have ended up in a shooting.
Success stories like these have led to tremendous growth of drones in policing. The Electronic Frontier Foundation says about 1,500 police departments now have some sort of drone program.
So you'll see the person try to ditch some evidence, which is another thing that the drone caught.
The thermal technology on the drone was able to see a heat signature.
The drone will provide continuous coverage.
I can't put a number on how many lives have and will be saved by this technology, but it is critical. It has become a critical part of our workflow.
Rob Robertson is head of Arlington, Texas Police Department's aviation unit. They've worked with drones for years, but expanded their Drone as First Responder program in mid-2025. Robertson says in 2025 alone, the department will fly several thousand missions.
At the end of the day, the goal of a public safety aviation program should be to put robots in dangerous situations to save human lives.
Do you think this makes policing safer?
Absolutely.
Do you think this makes the community safer?
Absolutely.
But some worry about the cost of that safety.
The big danger, the big thing that we worry about is that they will become omniscient, eyes in the sky, watching everybody in a community all the time.
Jay Stanley with the American Civil Liberties Union says it's not against drones in policing and sees the benefits of using them to find missing people, or in the case of Chula Vista, to help guide officers to time-essential emergencies. It's the misuses it's concerned about. Government overreach.
We think that there are limited reasonable roles for drones in policing.
Nobody wants a drone overhead in their backyard. You know, they don't want to be in their swimming pool with a drone surveying overhead, and I completely concur with that.
You don't think that that's how it should be used either?
So we're actually prohibited for using our aircraft for surveillance purposes.
What do you say to departments that will argue, we're not using these for surveillance, we are using these for emergency calls to protect people, to save lives?
If it becomes normalized, it becomes accepted, that's when we see that some departments will start to push the limits and start using it for routine surveillance, to watch whole areas just in case something happens.
Part of the problem with today's drone program, Stanley says, is they have little oversight. Outside of FAA rules, there are no federal laws about the program, so each state can have different standards. To prevent drone surveillance, the ACLU wants to see clear policies, including limits on when flights can take place, like not for crowd control or to monitor protests, which could infringe on people's First Amendment rights. Stanley also says there needs to be clear transparency requirements about the video that's taken, that it's not recording on the way to a call.
How do you prove to people, like, we're not surveilling you?
That's a great question, and that comes down to transparency.
Both Chula Vista and Arlington have public flight paths for just that reason. And Robertson says his team makes a concerted effort to explain the program to everyone, including its youngest citizens.
Before we ever flew one drone, we had a policy in place, we had worked with people. Any law enforcement agency that is going to start a program like this needs to do a lot of research. And the research needs to start with their community.
And that's because without the support of the community, these drone programs could stay grounded. Stanley says that's what people watching this report need to remember, that they do have a say.
Communities should look very closely at these kinds of programs and whether they are worth the cost. And if they decide to allow them, then they should put in place careful checks and balances on those programs to make sure that they don't turn into something bigger, that they don't become overwhelming, that they aren't misused.
The video these drones record can be contentious. Chula Vista's drone program was at the center of a lawsuit stemming from a local newspaper's records request to see the video it recorded.
In August 2025, the paper won its case to get access to the video. As for Arlington police, they have strict laws in Texas that only allow them to record footage on the scene of an incident or crime. It cannot record footage on its way to a call. Chula Vista says it also does not record footage on its way to calls.
Still ahead, a deck of cards addresses a topic many people avoid.
I believe in having curiosity and courage when we talk about death, and that improves our life.
How one game is changing the way families talk about the final stages of life.
But first,
All right, let's go to work.
police on 4 paws track down devices used to store illegal content.
The scent is a chemical, and the chemical is only on devices that can either store or transmit data.
We show you how law enforcement are taking down online criminals and ways to keep your family safe in a digital age.
For many teens, chatting online is a fun way to interact with friends, but for a growing number, those messages become instant nightmares.
In 2025, child safety nonprofit Thorn surveyed 1,200 people between the ages of 13 and 20. The results found 1 in 5 teens and young adults have experienced sextortion.
According to the FBI, this typically starts with someone posing as a child or teen online to build a relationship and eventually coerce the young victim to send explicit content.
The FBI says criminals then threaten to release the compromising content publicly unless the child pays a large sum of money.
These kids at this vulnerable age of being adolescents, and even as young as 7 years old, really feel like they have no one to talk to and nowhere to turn and their life is over.
Authorities say finding and prosecuting these predators can be difficult because the online nature means they can be anywhere in the world.
But agents we spoke with say that doesn't deter them from getting justice for children.
Reporter Ezra Kaplan shows us how one state is beefing up resources to combat sextortion.
Most often, it starts with a conversation, whether on Instagram or Roblox or Snapchat or Call of Duty or anywhere on the internet with a chat function.
Someone there is pretending to be of like age or whatever, and so they start engaging and become a friend. They ask for explicit images.
And just like that, what started as a friendly chat has revealed itself as criminal behavior.
Very quickly it turns to, now I need money. Or I'm going to now send all your pictures that you just sent me to your family and friends that I just took off of your Instagram.
This is sextortion, and it's a crime that is disturbingly on the rise.
Over the last 5 years, our number of cyber tips has increased dramatically. We now get over 10,000 a year. When we first started, I think the numbers were like 1,000.
Mark Williamson leads Oregon's task force on internet crimes against children.
How important are these digital forensics that you do?
They're critical to almost every case in law enforcement these days involves at least a phone.
And tracking down that electronic evidence can make all the difference.
Let's go to work.
Meet Flora, a dog who can sniff out those electronics.
The scent is a chemical, and the chemical is only on devices that can either store or transmit data.
That includes everything from a cell phone, a hard drive, even an SD card.
We thought we'd put Flora's skills to the test. Let's see if she can find it.
All right, let's go to work. Let's go to work. Seek, seek, show me. Seek, seek, show me. Yes, good girl, good girl. She's found devices that may have otherwise been missed on searches.
As an investigation moves forward, it falls on law enforcement agents to break the news to parents about the crimes being committed against their own children.
What do those conversations kind of look like?
They're very uncomfortable. And oftentimes the parents really have no idea what's going on.
Kids' lives have become so deeply online that experts say that parents have to do a better job knowing what is going on during screen time.
We spoke with a child abuse expert who agrees monitoring online activity is important.
Dr. Antonia Chiesa says what's also key is starting those conversations about boundaries early on. She says what's most important is for parents to use a calm and supportive approach while asking open-ended questions.
Really let them know that you're a safe resource, and that if they have questions or if they find themselves like in a scary situation, like they stumble online to something worrisome, that you're a safe person to go to and tell so that they're not going to get in trouble.
In 2025, Facebook's parent company Meta launched an online course designed to help teens recognize the signs of sextortion. We have a link with more information at InvestigateTV.com. Just search Teen Online Safety. Still ahead, patch by patch, a group of women sow love into every quilt.
It takes patience. It takes a lot of patience.
How they're warming laps and hearts across their community.
But first, a growing profession aims to start what can be an uncomfortable conversation.
And we just talk openly about death. Unafraid, curious, sometimes awkward.
Why she says talking about death can teach us a lot about life. It's a universal experience for every human, yet for many, talking about death can be difficult.
Yeah, a specialized profession aims to make it easier. An end-of-life doula, or death doula, is a person who offers services for end-of-life care, from planning final moments to providing respite for exhausted caregivers.
As of 2025, there's no government body that regulates death doulas. However, many choose to undergo certification through the National End-of-Life Doula Alliance. In Washington, D.C., a historic cemetery hired a doula in hopes visitors will have healthy conversations about death.
Reporter Deborah Alfarone shows us how we can start some of life's hardest and most important discussions.
Welcome to a final resting place like no other. Historic Congressional Cemetery in the heart of D.C. is a national landmark. More than 70,000 notable and everyday people are buried within its 35 acres, and it's considered the first to have a dedicated death doula.
The greatest thing that I can do here at the cemetery is promote death positivity. And I walk around with people in the cemetery and we just talk openly about death. Unafraid, curious, sometimes awkward.
Someone who has lost someone and is mourning might hear the words death positivity and say, what are you talking about?
I agree. And I think at the first, to hear death positivity could seem even disrespectful. I actually think that death positivity is about living better. Because what are we afraid of? When we turn that and we look at it as boundaries on our life that make life precious, we can feel better. We can feel more connected to the people we lose instead of rejecting their memory.
Laura does her work in many ways. She holds regular events. One's called a death cafe. She has a few things she always sets out: tea, cookies, and this deck of cards.
The death deck is a way to start conversations. And I recommend it to people, bring it to Thanksgiving. At first people will say, death? Oh, I don't want to do that. But you pull out one of these cards and you start talking and you learn things about the people that you care about and you start real conversations.
Laura says these are conversations many people are uncomfortable bringing up until it's time or it's too late. Back here at the historic Congressional Cemetery, I have a question of my own.
What advice do you give people for living?
Slow down. I think we try to speed through everything. We try to speed through grief. We try to speed through happy moments. We hoard it, but you can't really be present if you're hoarding it.
All the more reason to take a moment and appreciate the good side right now.
The cost to hire a death doula can vary and depends on the services they provide. According to GoodRx, families can expect to pay between $25 and $100 per hour. As of December 2025, insurance does not cover death doulas.
Still ahead,
They are doing wonderful work.
threading connections.
Makes me feel like I'm passing on a craft.
We introduce you to the quilters turning scrap fabric into works of art.
Usually they're used to keep warm, but this quilt serves a bigger purpose. At 50,000 panels and 54 tons, the AIDS Memorial Quilt is the largest quilt in the world. Each patchwork panel is meant to honor someone lost to the AIDS epidemic of the 1980s. Patches from the quilt are on display at the National AIDS Memorial in San Francisco.
In southern Indiana, a group of quilters dedicate their time and skills to comfort people in need.
Reporter Myra Ansari shows us how they're threading connections in the community.
Inside St. Paul Episcopal Church's carriage house in New Albany is a well-kept secret.
Do you think people realize what's going on
Nobody
inside this
knows.
church?
Nobody knows.
A group of women.
I retired about 3 years ago.
Well, anybody is welcome.
I wanted to have that heritage for my family of making quilts.
Who make up the Southern Indiana Quilt Guild.
And like I said, I am a terrible seamstress, and nothing is pretty and straight.
It takes patience. Takes a lot of patience.
But they keep on telling me, just keep on doing it.
That's where spray starch comes in.
With fabric, thread, machines,
And done.
and a mission.
The creation of putting the fabrics together, matching the colors.
Without color, and your eye sees it better.
That's always important, to give back, to give more than you take. A lot of these ladies have made hundreds of quilts, and they probably have enough. All their friends and family are well stocked.
So they're sharing their talents with others.
So I can finger press.
Sure. It's just a good thing to do.
The Southern Indiana Quilt Guild makes things like quilts, bibs, tote bags, aprons for organizations in need.
It just makes me feel like I'm giving back to the world.
Some of the charities we give to, we try to get them to come in once a year and talk about their work, and that kind of brings it to our heart to know where the quilts go and how meaningful they are.
Places that help people with addiction recovery, new babies and moms, hospitals and seniors.
A lot of wheelchair blankets, you don't think about it, but most throws you buy are going to get tangled in the wheels and cause problems. So we can make them to their size and their specifications.
It can take weeks to months to make a quilt. When it comes together, it's like a piece of art. The shapes, the styles, the patterns are truly unique.
Makes me feel like I'm passing on a craft.
For the group,
They are doing wonderful work.
it's a way to socialize, learn, and pass on something they made with love.
We're also privileged, so many of us, and have a house full of blankets that we fight over on our couch. So it's somebody else's turn to take some of our time and talent and share that and let them wrap up and be warm in it.
So true that a good quilt is a work of art.
Yeah, and so pretty. You know, I sew,
Yes.
but I've never made a quilt.
Never made a quilt?
I'll
You
have
try
to
it.
make a quilt.
Inspired by that
I
story,
am.
right? Yes.
Well, that's it for us on Investigate TV Plus. I'm Tisha Powell.
And I'm Lee Zurich. Thanks for watching.
And thank you once again for joining us here on the Valley News Now Network and some Investigate TV. Now, if you don't have the VNN app yet, well, you can download that on your smartphone or mobile device, as well as if you got a smart TV, Roku, Fire Stick, as well as Apple TV, all available. You can get the VNN app there. I'm going to figure that out one of these times without slipping up. But thanks again very much for joining us here on our Valley News Now stream. For Duke Schindler, we'll catch you later.